that she doesn't touch like me. Sure as hell don't fuck like me.
Hey guys, so I'm here to tell you guys about my tonsil removal process. Alright, so since I was like a teenager, I had problems with my tonsils. I used to cough up these little yellow balls, and they used to be really tiny. And when I was a teenager, like I literally smelled it one time, and that shit stinks. I don't know, it smelled like bad breath or something, I don't know. But it was these hard little balls. And sometimes like I used to just cough like and they used to come flying out like these yellow balls. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Excuse my language. So I never really understood what it was. I asked my mom if she ever seen it or if it ever happened to her. She actually said that she actually told me that it was my tonsils. I thought that maybe it was like cold or like you know how when you're sick and you have like phlegm in your throat, and then like it comes out yellow. I thought that it was like phlegm that was sitting in the back of my throat, and that got old, and that eventually got hard because it was so old. And then when I coughed, it just eventually came up. That's what I originally thought it was, but it wasn't. So my mom actually told me that it was coming from my tonsils, and I was like, what? And she actually told me that she actually had problems with her tonsils when she was a kid too. So, since she told me that, I always used to look in the back of my throat, like all the time, like all day in the mirror, like just look, like, and just like look at the back of my throat, like look at my tonsils, put a flashlight there, like I used to do that all the time, just looking. And one time, I actually seen the little yellow balls like stuck on my tonsils, and I was like, oh, like it was bad. So then I started noticing, after a while I started noticing it was like little pockets in my tonsils, and the yellow balls would be like in different places of the in different pockets of the tonsils, like all over the tonsils, like 3 or 4 different places of the tonsils. So I was just like so grossed out, and like after I seen that, like I was just obsessed with my tonsils. Like I would literally every mirror, any mirror anywhere. Oh, don't mind my hair, it's doing its own thing, honestly. So everywhere, like anywhere I would be, oh gosh, I would literally be like in a mirror. I would literally be in a mirror, like poking at my tonsils with like a Q-tip. I used to take like the long Q-tips that you get from like your doctor's office. I like literally went to the store, went to the pharmacy and bought like a whole 100-pack of them, and just like used to like poke at my tonsils, try to squeeze the little balls out. Like it was the worst. So also with that being said, I used to like I never get sick. Like I have a really strong immune system, never get sick. Like I don't want to jinx myself by saying that, but but like literally I would get sick maybe like once a year, and when I did get sick, it would be like a really bad sickness. Like I would be sick like really bad, like once a year. So with my tonsil issues, I used to get sick. I wouldn't say sick, but I would say I would have problems with my tonsils like every 3 months. Like I had tonsillitis before, I've had strep throat, just always something with my throat, with my tonsils. Like I couldn't talk, or like they were like so swollen, like it was like literally bad. So I was like 25 25 or 26 when I'm like, you know what, like I had a conversation with my aunt, and she told me like you better take them things out, they're gonna continue to cause you problems. So I'm like, you know what, that's not a bad idea. Like I don't need them. Like I've heard like plenty of times people taking out their tonsils or whatever. And actually I went to public school, elementary school with, excuse me, this young lady, and she had taken her tonsils out like at a really young age, and she had like a squeaky voice, and she used to talk like this, and like everybody used to make fun of her, but I just thought it was like cool. I don't know if that's what you want to call it, but Yeah, so I always thought, like, when I was young, I always thought, like, if I took my tonsils out, like, I would sound like that. But as I got older, I'm just like, whatever. So I'm like, I really need to get rid of this problem. So I started doing some research, started calling my insurance company to make sure, like, I would be covered for certain things and what did I have to come out of pocket for. And I did some research, and I actually found a really good doctor to do the procedure. I got a recommendation from my PCP to see a sinus doctor, something like that. Whoever deals with the damn tonsils. Yeah, so I seen that lady quite a few times. Like I had an appointment like every 2 weeks to see her, and we was doing like little tests. Like she did this one test where she had to stick like a tube up my nose to like, and it had like a little camera on the tip of it to see like back there. And ooh, that experience was, it was the worst. But I let her do it, and she was like, a lot of people don't let me do it, but that's something that we have to do with the whole process. So I let her do it, and it was like the worst. But so yeah, she saw that my tonsils were very, very big, and she was like, okay, we're gonna get it done. Boom, boom. And she asked me like, when did I want to get it done? I told her the sooner the better, because like I just wanted to get it done and over with. And she didn't have any appointments for any surgical appointments available for like the next 3 months or something like that. Like sis was booked and busy. Okay. So yeah, so I was like, all right, no problem. So I set my appointment. It was maybe like July, and I set my appointment for like December. And I was just like, whatever, it comes, whatever, like that. Like, I was even willing to do it during my Christmas break. Like, I didn't even care. I just wanted them out. So I set an appointment, got everything prepared, everything like that. She told me that if anything became available, like, earlier, then she would call me and let me know, or she would have someone call me to confirm that I would want to take that slot or whatever, right? So now, August comes, and my birthday's in August. August 10th, Leo. But anyway, so August comes, and I'm like, I have like birthday plans. I usually go away for my birthday out of the country and stuff like that. So I didn't book anything yet, but where? No, actually, I did book a trip to go to DR. Went to DR, came back from my DR trip, and the weekend that I came back, someone called me. And so it was like after my birthday, it was like in the teens or something like that, that someone called me. So someone from the hospital called me and was like, oh, we had a cancellation. Would you like to come in and get the procedure done Thursday? Mind you, today was Tuesday, and they wanted me to come in on Thursday to get the procedure done. And I was like, wait, what? So I was like, okay, yeah, I just agreed to it. So they told me like things that I had to do. I had to come into the hospital, be cleared for certain things, and it was just a headache. Like I had to take off of work that day, and literally I was going back and forth, trying to be cleared for this, be cleared for that, blood pressure test, this and that, and it was just a lot. And I had my son with me, like dragging him around here, there. I felt so bad for him. So I had to make arrangements for my son and just to get the procedure done within the next 2 days. So finally the day came. I had to do it by myself because it was so short notice. My boyfriend was there before the procedure, and then he had to leave to go to work, and it was like, I wasn't nervous, I was more like anxious just to get it out the way, to get it done. And everything went pretty smooth. I knew I had a good doctor. I spoke to like I spoke to the other people that was going to be in the room. I spoke to the nurses, and everybody made me feel very comfortable. And then we went into the room. I like walked into the room, and it was like lights everywhere. It's like a show, like so weird or whatever. and then like lay down on the tables, cold table. And then I already had the IV in. They put the medicine in the IV to knock me out. And then my doctor told me to count backwards from 10. And all I remember is getting to like 7. And like, I was done. I was out. I actually forgot to tell her that I wanted to see the tonsils. You know how they like give it to people in a glass or a jar or something like that. I actually just wanted to see it. I didn't want to keep it or anything, but I just wanted to see it just because I was curious. But I actually forgot, so I didn't get to see it. And then for some reason, I thought that when I woke up or when the surgery was over, I was just gonna look to the side and see them sitting on a jar on the table. But I wasn't even in the OR when I woke up. So basically, it was a really quick outpatient surgery. So you go in that day, you leave in a few hours, like something like that. So I remember when I woke up, I had so many messages on my phone. Like I was like just out of it, but I was in so much pain. Like I started like really like yelling. Like it was other people in the recovery room too, but we had like curtains, so it was like sectioned off. And I remember I was just like yelling. The nurse came to check on me, and I was just like I was in so much pain. Like this pain was crazy. The surgeon came and checked on me as well. And then when she checked on me, she knew I was in a lot of pain and the medicine was wearing off. So she like just started yelling. I remember she was yelling, "Get her some medicine, get her this, that, da da da." And like she was just like so amazing. Like they immediately gave me some medicine, like literally in like a few minutes, like the pain started going away. So I just went back to sleep. I was just trying to sleep it off until my boyfriend came to pick me up. Then after a while, I like looked at my phone. I had so many messages, so many voicemails. My aunt was calling me because they never updated my son's pickup list, so they wanted to know like, was it okay for my aunt to pick him up? Like, it was just a lot going on because the surgery happened like so short notice. But everything wound up working out. My son was fine. She was able to pick him up. They called his dad to confirm that he knew who she was and everything like that. And after a while, I was there for maybe like, I would say like from the start of the surgery, I was in the hospital for maybe like 7 hours, like a full work day. And then my boyfriend picked me up, and I just had to take it really slow. Getting ready to leave. I was fine, like I could walk and everything like that. It was just like I was in and out of pain, kind of. So they gave me some medicine. What did they give me? I think they gave me ibuprofen, and I think they gave me Percocets as well. And I was supposed to take it like every 4 to 6 hours. Now, I'm the type of person, like if I'm not in pain, I'm not gonna take medicine. Like regardless if it's time for me to take it, if I'm not in pain, like I'm not gonna take it. Like what's the sense? So I got the prescription and I went home. I was just resting. My son had to go to school the next day. My boyfriend helped me out with that, but I was able, like after the next day, I was able to do a lot of daily activities. Like at the time I was bartending, so I wasn't able to go to work because I couldn't talk to anybody. But I looked regular, I felt fine, nothing was swollen. It was just like a smooth process. I started taking my son to school, daily, regular cleaning up, doing homework, like regular stuff. I was just off, like I was home a lot, just resting. And after like the first day, I started, like I would go like 12 hours without the meds and I was fine. And then like at nighttime, like I would start feeling like pain. And then I'm like, okay, this hurts. Let me just take another one now. So I would take another one and then I would feel better. Now, then the second day, it got like really bad to the point where I woke up in pain. And I was just like literally in so much pain that I was crying. I took a pill and then I didn't like how I felt when I took the pill, so I stopped taking them. So let me tell you about how I felt. So when I noticed, like when I was in pain and I was taking the pills, like the first day I was taking the pills every 6 hours because they was like, oh, you have to take it every 6 hours. You're gonna be in excruciating pain, like you have to take it. So I'm like, okay, so the first day I came home, I was taking it every 6 hours. Like they said 4 to 6 hours. I was taking it every 6 hours. So I would like literally set an alarm, wake up, and take it. Then I was just like, I'm not really in pain. Like, it wasn't like, okay, I'm in pain now, I have to wait the 6 hours, okay, let me take another one. It wasn't like that. So I was just taking it just because they told me to take it. And then I started feeling like, oh, maybe the second day I started feeling like, oh, maybe it's getting better because I'm not really in that much pain. So when I was taking it every 6 hours, I started feeling like, not woozy, but kind of like I was seeing things. Like, not seeing things, like, I forgot what the word is, but I wasn't like hallucinating. But everything was like kind of in like slow motion, and it was just weird. Like, I guess I was kind of hallucinating because at one point I literally seen a lady sitting at the end of my bed. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I have these new powers where I can see dead people now. I don't know what it was, but I was feeling different, and I didn't like how I was feeling. Like, yeah, it took away the pain, but it had me like low-key hallucinating and like feeling weird. Like, everything was in like slow motion, and I was like, whoa, like I was in space or something. It was like bad, and I didn't like that I felt like that, and I didn't want to go to sleep because I felt like that. So that's when I just stopped taking it, and I would only take it when I was in like really bad pain. And then on day 3, I actually was scared to take it because I had seen what I seen, and I was feeling how I was feeling when I was on those pills. So maybe the dosage was so too high, I don't really know, but I just felt like when I took them, it did ease the pain, but I was just bugging out in my head, and I didn't like feeling like that. So I was scared to take them. But then I remembered like whatever I had got from the hospital, I don't know if it was the same thing or if it was just in IV form or what, fluid form, but I wasn't feeling how I was feeling when I was taking the pills. So I went back to the hospital. Day 3, I went back to the hospital. Oh, mind you, during this whole process, I was not eating anything. I couldn't even drink water. That's how bad it was. And it took me back to when I used to get sick from my throat before I got the surgery. Like, it used to be so bad, I couldn't even drink. I couldn't swallow my spit. That's how bad it used to be. So it took me back to that. So after the surgery, I literally could not swallow anything. It hurt to swallow my spit. Like, every time I used to swallow my spit, I used to be like just to swallow my saliva. So like, it was so bad. So I wasn't eating. This is day 3, day 4. I'm not eating. Haven't drank water, nothing. Like I brushed my teeth and then I had to spit everything out. Couldn't really goggle. Like, it was bad. So I went back to the hospital, and I was just letting them know, like, listen, I just got surgery. Da-da-da. I was already in the system, so it was fine. I went back to the same hospital. They gave me some medicine. I laid there for like an hour, and then I just went on my way. Like, soon as I got the medicine in me and I was like fine, not in pain, I was just regular. I was just like, regular. I remember on my way home, I went to the corner store and I got like a little cake or something, like a little pound cake, and I was like stuffing it down my throat because I was so hungry. But it didn't hurt me because my throat was basically numb. So like, I was just eating it regular eating it or whatever, and it was fine. And I remember I got home, went to sleep, slept it off. As soon as I woke up, back in pain. I think I went to the hospital maybe like twice. And then when I woke up and I was back in pain, I just like went back to sleep. Like, I just slept it off. Like, I'm not going back to the hospital, I'm gonna just sleep it off. Like, it'll be fine. I tried to drink some water, it didn't help me. I tried to drink some tea, something hot, it didn't help me. That night I had went back to the hospital. I think it was like maybe like the 4th night. So I went to the hospital on the 3rd night and the 4th night. They did the same thing, gave me some medicine and an IV. Excuse me. And sent me home. And then by then, like when I went home that time, like I was fine. So I went home, I was just resting. It was like the weekend, so I like literally just was resting. My son was at his dad's house. So it was literally like I was just chilling. Now at this point, like I wasn't in so much pain. So this is like day 5. I wasn't in so much pain when I wasn't medicated, so I was like fine. I was still in pain, but it wasn't bad. And I was like, I started like opening my mouth to like look at the back of my throat, see like what's gone, how different it looks, if it's healing. And then I also had to go back to the surgeon to see her, and she just was making sure that everything was fine. I think this was on like day 5 or 6, and I told her everything was fine by like day 6, and it was great. She told me to follow up with her in like 6 months, and I didn't, of course, because I'm like fine. But yeah, that was it. It was like a quick process, but it's very crucial. I guess it depends on your tolerance for pain. And I feel like my tolerance with pain is pretty high. But that feeling is crazy. Oh, one good thing about it though, I did lose a bunch of weight. Like within those 5, 6 days of me not eating at all, like I literally lost, I want to say like 17 pounds, easy. Like I remember weighing myself like after the first day, and after the first day I had lost 4 pounds, and then after that I was just dropping weight, dropping weight, dropping weight because I wasn't eating. I was basically just dry fasting, if you think about it. So I did lose some weight, and when I did start eating after like the 6th day, I was just eating like soup, broth, little like started off with like little noodles, stuff like that, drinking tea, like so I wasn't really eating solids yet. But yeah, it wasn't that bad, and I don't regret it. And for anybody having issues with their tonsils, especially from what I described from with the little balls, like yeah, get it taken out, sis. Like you don't need them. They're just causing you pain, honestly. Like nobody should have to go through that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video.